Covering news where you live, this is 5 News.
Thank you so much for joining us for the latest news and weather where you live. I'm Tiffany Lee. Before we get you caught up on the top stories, let's check in with our weather team for a look at your forecast. Stephen, it's definitely been a cold few days, and it's looking like it's going to be a cold weekend.
Yeah, Tiffany, we've had a pretty cool week, and today is feeling extra frigid. We're going to be 10, 15, even 20 degrees below average for today, and for this weekend, we're going to see those below average temperatures begin to persist. But we also have some warm up on the way. But for Friday, those high temperatures are going to feel really chilly. Only going to be into the 30s, 34 for Fayetteville for a high on Friday, 39 for Fort Smith, and 40 in Waldron. So well below average, which is normally in the mid 50s up to the 60s. So it's going to be very, very cool as we move forward here in the next few days. But for that game against Ole Miss for tomorrow, you're going to definitely need to bundle up, because not only is it a game in the evening where the sun's already going to be set, but those temperatures are going to be very cool. We're going to have some wind making it feel even cooler, but we're going to see those temperatures starting out in the 40s when you're heading to the game, but quickly get into the 30s, then 20s as the game goes on after kickoff, with winds coming out of the northwest 5 to 15 miles an hour. It's going to feel even a few degrees below that, so definitely want to bundle up if you're heading to the game. But for the rest of the day tomorrow, we're going to have very cool temperatures. Northwest Arkansas are going to have lows in the low 20s to the teens, and as we move later on throughout the day, we're going to get up into the 40s, but still about 10 to 15 degrees below average, very chilly. And then for the River Valley as well, we're going to see a similar story, only in the 40s for a high. We're going to see that cloud coverage begin to move out tomorrow, but it is going to be a cool day. Good thing though, we're going to have a bit of a change as we move into Thanksgiving week. We're going to see temperatures begin to warm up as we move through the weekend. And as we get towards Thanksgiving Day itself, we're going to return to the 50s, more towards average. It's going to feel a little bit nice. We're going to have high temperatures in the 50s, but we do have a chance for some rain as we move towards Thanksgiving. It's going to be moved sometime between Wednesday and Thursday night. As we take a look at what to expect for that holiday, if you get a few days off work, hopefully we can minimize some of that rain. But as we move later on into Thursday morning, we're going to see some rain begin to move in from Oklahoma into Arkansas, then throughout the day move through, but mainly just some showers, light showers. Not going to be heavy downpours or widespread rain, but we are tracking this system. Could have some impact on not only your Thanksgiving but also your Black Friday plans. But as we take a look for the next 7 days, we're going to have a weather alert day today until we get above freezing because some of that ice on the roads. But as we get into the 40s and 50s later on in the next few days, things are going to really begin to look a bit nicer. And then we're going to be near the 60s as we get into the middle of next week, but some rain chances begin to move in for Thanksgiving. And a similar story for the River Valley. As we warm up, we're going to see that weather begin to get a little nicer, but back into the 60s, and then a little bit of rain for Thanksgiving. But that's all for now. Send it back over to Tiffany with a look at today's headlines.
And if you're looking for something fun to do over this cold weekend, don't forget the Lights of the Ozarks kicks off tonight on the historic downtown Fayetteville Square. Mayor Lionel Jordan is set to turn on the lights during a ceremony at 6 p.m. Public School Superintendent Dr. John L. Colbert will lead the holiday parade as Grand Marshal. According to Experience Fayetteville, workers spend more than 3,300 hours decorating the square with more than 400,000 holiday lights. The Lights of the Ozarks will light up the square every night from 5 p.m. to 1 a.m. through New Year's Day. The Fayetteville Square isn't the only place that will turn the lights on this weekend. Bentonville Square will also flip the switch. The city of Bentonville is preparing for their annual lighting of the square. The free event is family friendly and everyone gets free hot cocoa. The events begin at 4 and will continue into the evening.
This is kind of all the culmination of the hard work that we've seen from downtown Bentonville and the Parks and Rec department of the city, and it's all coming here and it's seeing the smile on kids' faces. And I think that's the one thing that you want to experience if you've never been to something like this, is come down and see the wide-eyed wonderment of kids looking up into the trees and seeing these lights for the first time and knowing they can come down at any time and get that feeling once again.
The event will happen on Saturday, and Bentonville Mayor Stephanie Orman will flip the switch to light up the square. And it has origins out of Canada dating back to the 1900s. But the disc golf that we know today began in California in the late 1960s. It's grown from there. But did you know that Northwest Arkansas is home to the largest singular disc golf event in the state? 5 News reporter Ian Taylor shows us how the sport is growing in our area.
Northwest Arkansas is home to the NWA Open, where amateur and professional disc golfers alike compete in a 3-day tournament. But first, let's take a look at how and where this sport is growing locally. Similar to traditional golf, friends gather on the course for some friendly banter and willing a shot to stay the course. It's the rattle of chains and a bag full of discs.
This is my ball and my club.
Not clubs. That gives a clear distinction between the two sports of golf and disc golf. But it's a love for the game that remains the same.
It's just been a wild ride. It's my life at this point.
Kevin Burdick is the founder and owner of the Disc Golf Dojo and calls Carter Park in West Fork home. Inheriting a passion for the sport from his dad, Burdick has been playing disc golf since he was 3. It's that passion he loves to share and watch grow right in his own backyard.
I want you to come out here and learn some things, sure, from people who have played longer than you, but also, want to come back, right?
While playing a round of disc golf might look like a walk in the woods, it's a sport that takes time, effort, and practice. Casual players might have played disc golf for years like Burdick, with some picking it up a lot more recently than you might think.
With COVID, it really expanded our sport. It's an easy thing to do while social distancing, right? You get on Amazon, you order 3 discs, it comes to your door, you go to the park and you play.
Even professional players are seeing a similar boost.
We actually saw our numbers of Professional Disc Golf Association members almost double in the year following COVID.
200 professional and amateur players combined participated in the 5th annual Northwest Arkansas Open earlier this month, making it
the largest singular disc golf event in the state of Arkansas.
That's tournament director Matt Lloyd. He says this year's event featured players from 2 different countries and 9 states, including 2 players ranked in the top 35 worldwide. 34th ranked Andrew Presnell from Ozark, Missouri, picked up the sport about 10 years ago and encourages anyone interested to give it a try.
You got to get out there and try it a couple times, because I was really bad the first handful of times, and I honestly saw myself going nowhere with it.
And in the end, he says that patience was worth it.
Once you get that really good shot down, you kind of get that hook, and then once you keep doing that more and more, then you're going to get hooked, and it's addicting once you catch that bug.
Kevin Burdick is thrilled by disc golf's growth in the area and can't wait to see even more locals out on the course.
You park, you walk up to the hole, and you play. You enjoy a good time with your friends, you're outside in nature. It's just wonderful. It's just wonderful.
In West Fork, covering news where you live, Ian Taylor, 5 News.
There are many disc golf leagues and courses across the River Valley and Northwest Arkansas. To find the one nearest to you, just text DISC to 479-785-5000. From there, we'll send you a link to the list. And switching gears to your national news, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi announced that she is not seeking re-election to the Democratic leadership. She's saying the hour has come for a new generation to lead the party. Pelosi will continue serving as a member of Congress. The frontrunner to replace her, New York's Hakeem Jeffries, is expected to make his formal bid as leader today. House Democrats will be in the minority in January when Republicans take control. And there's mounting frustration about the police investigation into the killings of 4 Idaho college students. This as questions linger about possible suspects and the safety of the community. The FBI's Behavioral Analyst Unit is now assisting local law enforcement. The county coroner released a report confirming that the students were killed with a large knife. And workers went on strike at more than 100 Starbucks stores across the country. The work stoppage came on the same day that Starbucks launched its annual Red Cup promotion. They were offering reusable cups with the purchase of holiday drinks. Workers called their strike a Red Cup rebellion, accusing the coffee chain of union-busting tactics. Starbucks and the union have begun contract talks at 53 stores. The Starbucks Workers United said that so far, though no agreements have been made, this is what's happening. And now let's get you caught up on some of the news that you might have missed this week. Thanksgiving dinner could cost more this year as the price of groceries continues to rise. Brandon Lewis from our National Verified team looks into claims that the price of turkey jumped 17%.
Turkey is a staple on the dinner table for most people on Thanksgiving, but some people on social media are complaining about pricey poultry. Senators Ted Cruz and Marsha Blackburn tweeted to their combined nearly 4 million followers that turkey prices are up 17% this year. So let's verify. Are turkey prices up 17% this year? Our sources are the Bureau of Labor Statistics, the U.S. Department of Agriculture, and the American Farm Bureau. The BLS tracks prices of everyday items to measure changes in the economy. In October, the BLS found the cost of foods considered other poultry, such as turkey, Cornish game hen, and goose, increased 17% over last year. However, That doesn't mean that's what it'll cost you to buy a turkey for Thanksgiving, because retailers tend to heavily discount turkeys for the holidays. The USDA tracks the price of turkey on a more granular level by surveying supermarkets nationwide every week. Its data shows for the week ending November 16th that the average sales price of a frozen turkey is up only 8% over last year, while the cost of a fresh turkey is up just 1%. So this claim needs context. While the price of turkeys is higher than last year, it isn't as high as the 17% cited by the BLS for consumers during the holidays. The Farm Bureau says inflation isn't the only reason poultry prices are higher. More than 40 million birds, including 6 million turkeys, were killed by avian flu this year. Still, all of our sources expect there will be enough turkeys to meet demand for Thanksgiving. With your Verify, I'm Brandon Lewis.
Meanwhile, the University of Arkansas officially has a new chancellor. The Board of Trustees appointed Dr. Charles Robinson to the university's top spot. Robinson has been serving as the interim chancellor since August of 2021. He served in many roles at the university for the last 23 years, including assistant professor and vice chancellor for student affairs. He is the first black chancellor appointed to this position. His goals include student retention and graduation and attracting and retaining the best employees. The Board of Trustees agreed to a 3-year employment term for Robinson. He assumed his interim position after former Chancellor Joseph Steinmetz stepped down in the summer of 2021. The city of Fort Smith has sprung a leak, and 600 additional water leaks have been reported around the city compared to last year. Water leaks in neighborhoods and roads are causing a headache for many. Fort Smith Utility Director Lance McAvoy says that supply chain issues and a decline in personnel are the main factors in repair delays. He says prior to the pandemic, parts could be ordered and arrive within weeks, but now it's taking anywhere from 3 to 6 months. He says finding a leak isn't always a science, but an art form, which is why drivers are still seeing puddles form along Rogers Avenue in front of Hobby Lobby and Interstate 540. No additional costs are expected to hit customers for leaks on the city side of meters, and anyone wishing to report a leak can call the city maintenance department. The couple arrested in the kidnapping and death of a pregnant mother from Benton County have been indicted on federal charges. Amber Waterman is charged with 1 count of kidnapping resulting in death, and Jamie Waterman is charged as an accessory. The indictment alleges that Amber Waterman kidnapped Ashley Bush in order to claim her unborn child as her own. The indictment also alleges that Jamie was an accessory because he tried to help his wife cover up the crimes. U.S. attorneys in Missouri will be handling the federal charges, and Amber Waterman is facing capital murder charges in Benton County as well. She's scheduled to appear in court there next Monday. And the Cherokee Nation is celebrating the grand opening of the tribe's new $20 million Durbin Filling Language Center. The center is in the capital city of the Cherokee Nation, and it will have all of the growing Cherokee language programs, the Immersion Charter School, and the Cherokee Language Master Apprentice Program for adult language learners. The Language Center is named in honor of late Durbin Filling, Cherokee Nation's single largest contributor to the Cherokee language since Sequoyah. A nationwide veterinarian shortage is hitting some clinics in Arkansas. According to the State Veterinary Medical Association, this is a problem that only got worse during the pandemic. As Brooke Buckner shows us, there are plans to fix the issue, but they may take a while to have enough qualified vets.
There's certainly a noticeable change, a noticeable decrease in the number of veterinarians available.
Dr. Paul Noble says he's not currently searching for vets to join his team at Bryant Veterinary Clinic, but he knows finding them is a challenge.
Through word of mouth, yes, I've heard that it's relatively hard to find.
Dr. Noble says he notices the problem when he tries to take vacations.
It is hard to find relief vets, harder than it was.
And he says some people even come out of retirement to help out.
A friend of theirs might have needed help, which they didn't anticipate, and they're glad to do it on a short-term basis.
According to the Arkansas Veterinary Medical Association, there are lots of reasons for the shortage, including more vets retiring or choosing to work fewer hours.
There may be some now, more so than when I started years ago, that are looking more for part-time work instead of full-time, and so that's part of it.
He also says the demand is higher now.
People are willing to do so much more for their pets. It means that there's just more things to do, so that we need more of us to do those things.
Lyon College plans to bring a veterinary school to Little Rock right here in the Heifer International building. Lyon's president tells me this could help keep more Arkansans in the state working as vets after graduation.
When they go to these professional schools, they tend to stay and practice where they train.
Melissa Taberner says the school will fill a big need because Arkansas doesn't have its own veterinary medical school.
It made a lot of sense for us, Lyon College and our partners in Little Rock, to think about what are the things that we could do to help alleviate some of these stressors in the industry. And the clearest thing is to support veterinary education in Arkansas.
And finally, we're taking a closer look at a candidate that made history during last week's election. Goshen is one of the communities across our area, and they will have a new mayor coming in the new year. The mayor-elect has big plans, and as 5 News reporter Catherine Gilker shows us, he's also making history.
I'm invested in the community.
Russell Stroud is a third-generation Goshen resident, calling the small town in eastern Washington County home his whole life except for about a decade. He served as a street superintendent for the city, is now a nurse practitioner, and recently ran for mayor.
I know the community well because I've lived here for a long time, and I've been a part of the change, but I've also seen the change from a distance as well when I was away in California and New York.
He says Goshen used to be a farming community and remembers having 4-H meetings in the same community building where he sits now. With a population of about 2,300, Stroud says the city has transformed into more of a bedroom community.
Most of the big farms that used to exist here have been bought and have been developed. There's still a few, and we have 58 acres and I still farm.
And on November 8th, this Goshen farmer was elected mayor.
Stroud has lots of plans for the city's future, one of those being building a new city hall. Right now, city employees and the police department have to share the small city hall you see behind me, making it very cramped and no room for growth.
It's a bedroom community, but we also want to have restaurants, potentially maybe a grocery store in the future, things that are services that people don't have to drive all the way to Fayetteville to have, but yet still keep it, quaint and more like a rural community.
As he looks towards continued growth, Stroud is also making history. As far as we know, he is the first openly gay mayor in Arkansas.
I would have not thought that it would be possible when I was a kid here in 4-H. Growing up in a small community like this, I think it's difficult to know what that's going to look like in 30 or 40 years.
He says times and people are changing and that he doesn't want to focus on himself, but instead on the future of the city.
I think that it didn't really play such a significant part in my election because I feel like people voted for me because they know my character, they know I'm an honest, genuine, straightforward person.
In Goshen, covering news where you live, Catherine Gilker, 5 News.
Thank you so much for joining us for the latest news and weather where you live. I'm Tiffany Lee. Have a great weekend.